Today I'm covering the top 10 films most referenced by other films. These are the movies that screenwriters and directors seem to assume that you've seen, which means if you haven't watched all of these films, then you're not going to fully appreciate the films that you do see. For any movie, IMDb has a list of films referencing it submitted by users. I used these lists as a starting point and then did additional research, rewatching scores of films myself, to validate counts to make a final list of the top 10 most referenced films. For each entry, I give an example reference from both a very popular movie, something you likely have seen, and a very good movie, something you definitely should see if you haven't. Okay then, it turns out that the number 10 most commonly referenced film is The Godfather from 1972. This is the highest rated film on the list, scoring 9.2 on IMDb, making it second only to The Shawshank Redemption on IMDb's top 250 films of all time. Period films like The Godfather typically contain few film references themselves since they would be anachronistic. On the other hand, comedies often contain a lot of film references for cheap laughs. So it shouldn't be surprising to find a Godfather reference in 2010's Despicable Me, which contains a sanitized version of the famous horsehead scene. The highest rated film to reference The Godfather is probably Woody Allen's Annie Hall from 1977.
Jesus, what'd you do? Come by way of the Panama Canal?
I'm in a bad mood, okay?
Bad mood? I'm standing with the cast of The Godfather.
You're gonna have to learn to deal with it.
Besides a reference, this is also an inside joke, because Annie Hall is played by Diane Keaton, who starred in The Godfather. At number 9 is 1975's Jaws. You probably remember the futuristic reference to the franchise in Back to the Future Part 2. Jaws-style music also accompanies the shark from Finding Nemo.
Just a bite! You hold together, mate! Remember, Bruce, fish are friends, not food! Food!
The shark is named Bruce, which was Steven Spielberg's nickname for the shark from Jaws. At number 8 is Martin Scorsese's Taxi Driver from 1976. It contains a famous scene of Robert De Niro talking to himself in front of a mirror that's referenced in many films, including Disney's The Lion King, of all things.
You talking to me? You talking to me? You talking to me?
Hey, who's the pig? Are you talking to me?
Uh-oh, they called him a pig.
Are you talking to me?
Shouldn't have done that.
Are you talking to me?
Now they're in for
De
it.
Niro's character visits an adult movie theater early in the film. In The Departed, Scorsese has Matt Damon's character choose an adult movie theater as a meeting place for apparently no reason other than to reference his earlier film.
If it's such a fucking bad idea, why'd you show up?
I own the place.
At number 7 is Stanley Kubrick's The Shining from 1980. Some of its unsettling dialogue is referenced by 2007's Hot Fuzz.
But you are the caretaker. You've always been the caretaker.
I was hoping to check in.
Check in? But you've always been here.
Excuse me?
The distinctive carpet design of The Shining's Overlook Hotel has been replicated in a number of films, including in 1995's Toy Story in Sid's house.
That is so interesting.
At number 6 is 1968's 2001: A Space Odyssey, again directed by Stanley Kubrick. Based on my research, Kubrick is the most referenced director of all time. On the other hand, the director that does the most referencing is Quentin Tarantino. His films contain about 16 times the number of film references found in your typical movie. 2001 features an AI ship computer called HAL 9000.
Open the pod bay doors, Hal.
I'm sorry, Dave. I'm afraid I can't do that.
A reference to HAL's voice and iconic red light is found in a number of films, including 1996's Independence Day and 2008's Wall-E.
Good morning, Dave. Otto, you are relieved of duty.
At number 5 is Hitchcock's Psycho from 1960. The music sting from its famous shower scene is found in many films, including Finding Nemo.
Darla, your uncle will see you now.
The shower scene is also referenced by a school bully in 2001's Donnie Darko.
Didn't your dad, stab your mom?
At number 4 is The Terminator from 1984. Among the references to this film, 2 lines of dialogue come up frequently. One is found in 1995's Bad Boys.
I'll be back.
Another is paraphrased in 2014's The Lego Movie.
Come with me if you want to not die.
Coming in at number 3 is Star Wars Episode V, The Empire Strikes Back from 1980. This film introduced John Williams' iconic Imperial March. This theme is often imitated when introducing villains in other films, like El Macho from 2013's Despicable Me 2. The Empire Strikes Back also introduced the character of Yoda.
Do or do not. There is no try.
Often referenced as the ultimate personification of wisdom, as in 1995's Seven.
Just because a fucker's got a library card doesn't make him Yoda.
At number 2 is the original Star Wars, aka Episode 4, A New Hope. Coming from 1977, that makes the 1970s the most referenced decade on this list. A stupendously quotable movie, one iconic line is found in 1996's Twister.
That's no moon! It's a space station!
There are a couple references to A New Hope in 1985's Back to the Future, the most obvious being when Marty wears a radiation suit to scare his father.
My name is Darth Vader.
And the film most referenced by other films is The Wizard of Oz. Released in 1939, it is the oldest film on the list and has been explicitly referenced by at least 120 major films. As a tornado is a crucial plot point, it's no surprise that Twister contains several references to the film. It's pretty common for movies to quote this famous line.
Toto, I have a feeling we're not in Kansas anymore.
But 1999's The Matrix has a more 90s style take on this reference.
It means buckle your seatbelt, Dorothy, because Kansas is going bye-bye.
And just as a bonus, here's a rough estimate of the next 10 most commonly referenced films.